All right, welcome back to Noob School. Special guest today, David Seaver. Welcome, David.
Glad to be here, John. Thank you.
Awesome. So, looking at these cards, my able helper Jacob gave me, and the intro says, "Say something clever." So, can't think of anything right now, Jacob. But thanks anyway. I don't need to say anything clever about David Seaver. I met him how long ago?
1997.
Is that like 20 years ago?
Yes, I think it's like 15, 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
Maybe a little longer.
David was, I guess he was at Clemson and majored in marketing.
Right.
Which was smart. How did you decide to major in marketing?
Well, I was going to be a finance major.
Okay.
And then I went to take the first accounting 301 and was really struggling in that and said, you know what, there's another major. We only have to take one accounting class. That's marketing.
Yeah.
So I figured I was going to be a marketing major instead of finance major.
An honest man.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. Did you learn much in marketing?
Yeah, like the 4 Ps of marketing: product, price, place, promotion.
Okay.
They probably added a few more since the 90s.
Inflation. More P's.
Yep.
So
My marketing professors were probably impressed I still knew that.
that's really pretty good. And then tell me about your time at Clemson. Did you enjoy yourself?
Oh, I had a great time there.
Yeah?
A lot of great relationships that were built there that still carry on until today.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's one of the nice things about going to a school kind of in the area where you're going to live. Because if you'd have moved to Salt Lake City,
Yeah, you wouldn't have those relationships to build upon. And I got involved with the Greenville Clemson Club, the Young Alumni Club, and was active with that right during those times as well.
Smart. Not surprised you're successful. And then how did you? I know what your first job was. How did you hear about it?
So, first official job after graduation was with Datastream.
Uh-huh.
Before that, I was working with Carolina First Bank, and was going to go into their management training program and be a banker.
Yeah.
My brother was a banker.
Yeah.
My now wife was a banker, and I went, you know what? 2 Seavers, that's enough bankers here in Greenville. I said, let's try something else. And I'd heard all this great things about the guys at Datastream and what y'all were doing. Had no clue what you were selling.
Yeah.
Didn't even really know what software really was at that time.
Yeah.
But I knew it was just a great environment over there.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a part of it.
Well, and then how did you know you wanted to be in sales versus some other profession?
You know, I think almost, every job you have, there is a sales position.
Sure.
I mean, but at that time, again, I knew I didn't want to be in banking.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really sure, what true sales was.
Yeah.
But I knew it was a gread environment, so I wanted to head to Datastream.
Yeah.
And then you really learn different aspects of selling there.
Yeah, and we talk about it in the book some. It's almost a process of elimination. You know, if you're not going to med school or law school or engineering school, or some of these banking school or whatever, there's just all of a sudden sales becomes more and more obvious.
Right.
And it's kind of a way into the door of business, and then you kind of figure it out from there.
Exactly right.
Okay, cool. And then Datastream, I know obviously that was a fun time. In the late 90s, we'd gone public in 96.
Right.
And you joined when?
98.
98. So we were just hiring like crazy.
Yep.
And I remember we talked a little bit earlier about, you obviously, we were hiring people that had someone at the company that could vouch for them. And you had a bunch of those from Clemson.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we all liked them and thought they would fit in. And then, of course, you passed the Colby test, meaning you matched up with the others, and you fit right in and you crushed it for us.
Exactly. I had no clue and still have no clue what the Colby is or did, but like we talked about earlier, I must have answered it correctly and because it led me on a good path.
Yeah. When you answered it, again, correct or incorrect, it's just you answered it in a similar fashion to the other people that were doing real well at the company.
Right.
And that's what we're looking for. And then who did you work for?
So I worked with John Hollingsworth.
Wow.
My first couple months there, I was selling the John Deere maintenance.
Yes.
And calling on all the John Deere dealers across the country.
Yeah.
And then from there, I got, I guess, promoted into the true prospects part of
That was like the way in for people was to
Exactly.
start with to maintain it. That's very cool. How was it like talking to those dealers about that? Were they confused?
some of them, but I mean, you got some people who had no clue what it was.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, me either, but I think you need this so your customers will keep coming back to you to buy more parts.
Yeah. Cool. So you worked for Hollingsworth and you started in that area.
Right.
And how long did you stay with Datastream?
I left in, I think right around 2000, 2
Okay.
years.
Okay. And you went to work with another Datastream alum in the
Right.
telecom space.
Yep, Bubba West called me, and they were starting this company called Suncom.
Yeah.
It was a wireless company.
Yeah.
It was affiliated with AT&T,
Mm-hmm.
and at the time in Greenville, in this area, you had I think, Bell South Mobility and Bell Atlantic. And if you remember back in the late 90s, early 2000s, anytime you left almost your neighborhood, you were roaming and paying long distance.
That's
and,
right.
and so we had a different plan that gave you the
Yeah.
upstate or even the state for
Yeah.
no roaming, no long distance.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a good little run there.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's interesting that we had so many great young people, and I don't know why I decided this early on, but early on I decided if somebody leaves, that's okay. You know, if they're going to leave, we'll get somebody else. We'll keep a good relationship with them. Maybe we can help each other down the road. Maybe they'll come back. Maybe
Right.
they'll tell a friend. And it's just amazing how that attitude helped versus being kind of like, why did he leave? We just trained him. And people would circle back. I had one guy, John Hillman, come back 3 times. Every time he crushed it for us.
Yeah.
So just a side lesson there to people. It's just, we're going to be in the same community living together for a long time, for 40 or 50 years. People go. No big deal. So Datastream and then that company, how did that go? And then what happened next?
So that was a good little run there. And then I was another telecom company, local group, New South Communications.
Yeah.
One of their, a friend of mine there, of course, I knew some of their higher ups,
Yeah.
David Hudson and
yeah.
Eddie Terrell. But Johnny Hogue, I was actually selling phones to New South, to their sales folks and the different operations. And Hogue said, Seaver, why aren't you working for me? I'm like, I don't know, you tell me.
Mm-hmm.
So next week I sat in his office and then met with Hudson and Dwayne Drake, and next thing I know, I was on a path to a different part of telecom.
Yeah. Yeah. That was interesting. That telecom was taking off just like software was at that time, and we traded some people around.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Me and my brother.
Oh, yeah.
Dan, was he over there too?
No, Dan was at Trivergent New South and
Okay.
that group.
Okay. And didn't those two eventually merge or
They
something?
did.
Crazy.
I think they're now
Crazy.
it's Windstream. I guess
Yeah.
the two merge of those two.
Was there much difference between selling software and selling telecom?
No, I think it's all back to the basics. It's all relationships.
Yeah.
Whether you are selling a widget, a telecom, a T1, a mobile phone, it's just building those relationships with different people.
Yeah. Same. That's what I thought. Same. I think the more you know about, how you can solve the customer's problem, the better. But if you don't do the basics, you don't have a chance at bat, do you?
Right. It's all about finding their pain
Yeah.
and coming up with a solution to solve that pain, ease that pain.
Yeah. And so you've been successful at every stop along the way. This last stop with the telecom company, did that lead you into real estate? Did you have one more?
It was it was into my career in telecom, and now I kept thinking and wanting to go into real estate.
Why?
Number one, I think it was in my blood,
Uh-huh.
and actually I wanted to go into commercial real estate. I actually met with Kane Halter.
Really?
At one point, yep.
Wow.
And told my mother, who was a residential realtor, that, hey, I may go join them. And she goes, don't do it. It's the worst decision you could ever make. Don't do it. And so I listened to my mother that time, and I didn't. So I stayed a little bit longer in telecom. and finally realized, and talking with different people, that residential is where I wanted to go.
Huh.
And so I finally, had to really convince my mother, who's been an agent, was a great agent. She
Yeah.
actually just retired this past year. That this is a business I wanted to get into because number one, I got tired of people calling me for my mother's number to go buy a house. I'm like,
She's not taking any calls right now.
Let's cut out the middleman.
Yeah, yeah.
So I enjoy it. So I went there in late 2003 over at Coldwell Banker Kane.
Yeah.
And started just, I think, a great career.
That's great. Did you get any, like from your mom? Is she passing on any relationships?
Absolutely.
Nice.
So, it was after the first year or so, she actually had bypass surgery. So we kind of formed a team together.
Yeah.
And worked together for a little bit. And then I felt like I needed to get out more on my own. But
Yeah.
even to this day, she's officially retired and
She's still helping.
she still helps.
Do you funnel any business over to Southern First?
I do some, but my wife is in banking also.
Oh,
so,
that's right.
So I got to funnel some to United Community as well.
You better go there first.
Yes.
Okay. Let
Correct.
your brother take care of himself.
Exactly.
Okay, so you got in that business. How long ago was that?
Almost 19 years now.
And so I'm just going to put words in your mouth, but all these other times you've been selling for another company and making commission and President's Club and all that stuff. But as a real estate person, you're basically got your own business.
Right.
It's just a question of who you hang your back end with, right?
Correct.
They might get you some leads, they might process your stuff, but you've got your own business.
Right.
Okay. And how's that going?
After 19 years, I've kind of built it up where it's going well.
Yeah.
So it's not. I mean, there's a lean. Every once in a while you have a lean month. Not recently, but you don't really worry about that.
Yeah. What's an average good month for sales?
So if you close 4 or 5 a month, that's probably really good. I think the average agent in Greenville probably sells 20 homes a year. So a good agent's got to sell 30, 40, 50.
Yeah. So one a week is a good average.
One a week, you're outstanding.
Okay. That's great. I bet you're doing more than that. That's good. And then if you did 52 a year, roughly where would those 52 leads have come from?
Yeah. So in this business, you've got to focus on the people you know.
Yep.
So what I call it, your sphere of influence. And then if you build that up, you've got your past clients. And then also, I network with folks across the country, other agents in other markets. I do a lot of networking with them.
How do you do that?
Video, phone calls, go to trade shows and meet them there.
So these are people that might be sending someone to Greenville?
Correct.
Okay.
California and Texas, or California and New York, New Jersey. That's a good place to be networking right now because they're sending folks this way.
So that's one new place.
Yeah.
And then your old customers, you have some kind of, is your Pulse system mostly social media? Or are you doing?
So I still do old school. I come in every day and I've got like a 5-5-4-2 plan. I call 5 people in my database. I call 5 maybe new people.
Yeah.
4 follow-up people that I've been working with. And then I write 2 handwritten notes. So
nice.
Try to hit that every single day. And then you have last 6 to 8 months or a year, I've kind of taken my action to, I guess you can say, to social media.
Yes.
And, just having fun doing that. Not trying to be too crazy or corny with my social media, but just trying to be, a little creative, a little informative, and just try to have fun doing it.
Yeah, your personality comes across real well with that, and that you're smiling, you're happy. It doesn't go on too long.
Right.
It's just like bam. I really like it. Some of the stuff I've done, dress up like a lunatic. What I'm doing. So 5-5-4-2, and you do that every morning.
That's my goal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the noobs could learn from that.
Yeah. I still go back. I've got a different, database that I use, CRM.
Yeah.
But I tell people, I said, the Onyx was
Onyx
database we had at Datastream was awesome.
It was good.
I still wish I had that. You could funnel out my files before 3 new leads. And that was a great system back then. It was built in-house too, I think.
What is your CRM now?
I've got to use something called Realty Juggler.
Okay. So it's specific for you.
Yeah.
So CRM, for the folks who don't know what it is, customer relationship management. It's just basically a way to manage your contacts and set up a particular system and a drip system to call them every so often. But it's very important. And I'm sure you hear this too from noobs when you talk to them. They say, well, it's a bad time to get a job and blah, blah. I'm like, well, what do you want? What industry are you going after? What's the top 100 list? How often do you call them? It's just a few basic things that they just, not all at once either, right?
Right.
Just 5-5-4 call 5 a day. Your whole junior year of college, call 5 a day, and you'll have tons of options.
Yeah. And with adding on to the social media, it's a way to reach other people quicker.
Right.
And, I still laugh. I think I may have told you this story one time before. My daughters kind of laugh at my social media sometimes.
Yeah.
And like, Dad, nobody watches that. Nobody cares. Well, we're at dinner the other night, and a friend of ours walks by, who I see every once in a while, but I hadn't seen him probably in 4 months. Mm-hmm. And he said, hey, hey, y'all, good to see y'all. Hey, David, really like your videos on LinkedIn.
Nice.
And the rest of us just turned to my daughter, Caitlin, and just started laughing. So.
Well, we can't expect our daughters to think we're doing anything any good.
That's right.
Mine certainly doesn't. So along the way, what are some of the things about sales that you thought were true that turned out not to be true?
That I thought were true that turned out.
Like a misassumption or something.
Well, I mean, all salespeople are making tons of money. Mm-hmm. I think that's a big misnomer. That's even in real estate right now. Mm-hmm. I mean, you've got thousands of realtors here in town. I would say 90% of them are starving. Mm-hmm. It comes back to our business, and it kind of changes the question a little bit. But this sales, it truly is a contact sport.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to be every day contacting your people.
Yeah. That's true. It's not easy, is it?
No,
it's not easy. But as you get better at it, like you have, and put some time in, it does get a little easier.
It gets easier when you build out systems and follow those systems.
Yeah.
That's a big key.
What's one thing you wish you'd known about sales when you started?
I wish I would have known that it was a contact sport earlier on. Mm-hmm. Even back at Datastream, you're supposed to contacting 30, 40 phone calls a day, and like, really, I got to do all that?
I know.
So that took a while to truly understand.
I remember we would tell the salespeople, you being one of them, it was 32 a day. We said, if you'll just make 32 calls a day, show them who you called, you're going to be successful.
Right.
And they say, well, who am I supposed to call? I said, I don't even care. As long as you're dialing and talking to people, you'll figure it out, because the repetitions make you better.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, that's great. Any last advice for the noobs?
I think don't get, I think you've said in a couple of your videos, is don't get too tied up on what you're going to be selling. Mm-hmm. Just get out there, get yourself involved with, whatever company it is, and be successful there. I hear, Dabo Sweeney talk all the time.
Yeah.
Bloom where you're planted. Mm-hmm. If you're a marketing assistant or a sales assistant, be the best dadgum sales assistant right now. Yep. Quit trying to look for that next job instead of just working hard where you are right now.
That's a great advice. He's got a lot of good advice.
He does.
Okay, so now we're going to allow you to promote yourself a little bit, and I think David's going to do something a little unusual. We don't normally do this, but I think he's going to do something right here on camera.
Yep. Hey, we just had an awesome time. I got me and John. We had a great time talking about Noob School, his book, Noob School. And, man, just an awesome time that we get to share some of our past experiences. So if you're a new guy getting into sales, follow him on all social media, and then also reach out to him and see how he can help you.
Thank you, David. All right. That was strong. Strong. I like that. That's going to be your Tuesday.
That'll be my Tuesday testimonial.
Very nice. I like that. See, he's good at that. So if any of our listeners want to work with you on finding or selling a new house, what's the best way to contact you, and what kind of experience should they expect?
Yeah. So first of all, you reach out to me at David Seaver at 864-201 9034. You can also find me on all the social media platforms or email dseaver@cbkane.com. But we're going to have fun. I mean, it's going to be right now in this market, it's a challenge. But we're going to work our tail off for you. And if we're selling your house, we're going to position it the best way we can and get you in that right, again, position you where we need to be to get you the right amount of money.
Good. Well, I'm sure you do a good job for them. And I want to thank you for being on the podcast. I know you're busy, but thanks for coming out here and being on with me.
Absolutely. It's an honor to be here with you and, I mean, seeing all the past incredible sales guys you've had on here as well. So it's an honor to be part of it.
We appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you. All right. And we're out.